Two more cheetah cubs have died in Madhya Pradesh's Kuno National Park, which means a total of 3 cheetah cubs have died this week itself. These are 3 of the 4 cubs that were born in India as a pregnant cheetah was translocated to India. A total of 6 cheetahs, including 3 cubs born in India, have died since the translocations from Namibia and South Africa. On the 23rd of May, a couple of days back, the temperature was recorded at around 46 to 47 degrees Celsius, making it the hottest day in the Kuno Park region. On Tuesday, a team discovered the cubs in a weak, dehydrated condition. The team alerted veterinarians who administered essential medical care to the rescued cubs who were underweight, but 2 more cheetah cubs unfortunately have died.
आज नहीं, एक्चुअली 23 तारीख की ही बात है, जिस दिन सुबह एक बच्चा मरा मिला था। उसी दिन जब हमारी जो मॉनिटरिंग टीम और जो वेटनेरियंस की टीम है, उन्होंने मदर और बच्चों को निगरानी में रखा उन्होंने, लेकिन आफ्टरनून होते होते तक 2 बच्चे वो और कमज़ोर दिखे, जो ज़्यादा मूवमेंट उनका रिस्ट्रिक्ट हो गया, तो उनको उन्होंने ट्रीट करने की कोशिश की, बट वो ट्रीटमेंट के दौरान ही वो कोलैप्स हो गए। फिर चौथे बच्चे की वहाँ पे पास में ही उसकी आवाज़ सुनाई दी, तो उसको फिर रेस्क्यू करके हॉस्पिटल में लेके आए हैं, और उसकी भी हालत बहुत अच्छी नहीं थी, लेकिन ट्रीटमेंट के बाद वो अभी काफ़ी चुस्त दुरुस्त दिख रहा है।
Well, joining us now to look at this increasingly serious situation, Valmik Thapar is one of India's finest big cat experts, a conservationist and author as well. Good to speak to you again, Valmik. What is your reading into this situation?
Vishnu, before the first cheetah came out, this was the most ill-advised project, because India has no terrain and has no prey and is not cheetah country. Also, the temperatures in India, an Indian hot summer, nobody knows about that except when you live in India. So I've been against this project. It's a multi-million-dollar project, ill-advised. I think the Prime Minister has been ill-advised. I don't think for the last 300 years cheetahs have lived here naturally. There have been 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 22 specimens in all that have been found to do DNA samples on. And if you look at hunting records, if 2,000 tigers were killed and 4,000 wolves killed, sometimes there were no cheetahs killed in that year because you could not find them. So I'm not getting into that issue. I think Kuno Palpur is not the right place for cheetahs. I don't think there is a right place. I think we now have to look gravely at the future problems that these cheetahs have. Quite a few of them are in enclosures. The temperature is getting hot. We have a furious monsoon on our hands there. Not at all comfortable for cheetahs. So we have to find a proper enclosure for the next 3 months, which has nice cool caves which are cooled artificially, and we need to survey the whole of India to find that enclosure, be it 50 square kilometers, be it 80 square kilometers. But at the moment, they're talking about putting cheetahs in an enclosure inside a tiger reserve. Now that makes no sense at all, because tigers are the enemy of a cheetah, and you can't tiger reserve with cheetah sitting in an enclosure. But these cheetahs should not be allowed to free range for the moment. They should be looked after, otherwise you're going to have more deaths. Younger cub, the leftover cub, the 1 cub that there is, and adults. We still have to wait for the temperature in the sun to reach 50 degrees centigrade. Now, I've seen 400 different cheetahs all over Africa. I've watched them in wide open spaces. I know that they escape danger by their speed of reaching 110 kilometers an hour. We have stony surfaces in Kuno Palpur. We have ravines. We have uneven land. So we've got to consider this project in its entirety all over again. We've got to get the best experts, because even in South Africa today, international experts are criticizing the fact that their cheetahs are coming to India and facing probable death. And I love cheetahs. It's one of my favorite animals after the tiger. And we've got to put all our expertise together and find a solution. The Supreme Court of India is looking at this issue. Now they need to do a survey of experts, have to get together.
Let me just ask you a basic question which I couldn't understand. Cheetahs are extinct, naturally, they've been extinct in India for several decades. These have been translocated. How did cheetahs exist earlier in India?
They weren't extinct for several decades. These are numbers games being played. 2-3 cheetahs were shot in the 1950s. So we say there were no cheetahs. We've had captive cheetahs all over India. Every rich person in India treated the cheetah as a
So
pet.
the cheetah in the wild, Valmik, my question is, the cheetah in the wild, did it not exist in substantial numbers before they were exterminated?
Very few numbers. I have one of the biggest libraries in my house of old books. There were very few cheetahs in the wild found, and those that were, in my opinion, were feral. They had run away from their trainers because they were used by the Rajas and by the Rajputs and the elite to hunt black buck on a leash. So I am not one of those people. I have a very strong opinion on this, that there were very few cheetahs in India over the last 300 years, and there are very few people who can debate me on this, because right now I'm putting a book on the history of the cheetah from 8,000 years together to now. So I think this is an ill-advised project. We didn't need a multi-million-dollar project to bring cheetahs back to India when this terrain, this environment, the ecology of our areas does not suit cheetahs.
So Valmik, I mean, you can't have an enclosure as large as what you're talking about. What is the fate of these animals likely to be?
I really don't know. Like, you know, one cub has been taken to a hospital, and maybe they are preparing a state-of-the-art hospital for cheetahs. This you have in South Africa a lot. Animals have state-of-the-art hospitals with ICUs. People don't believe me, but I've seen them myself, okay? So they are used to, veterinary specialists from South Africa are used to great medical treatment that they give animals, because most of these big South African parks are fenced. So we do have one big fenced enclosure. We have another one in the Sanjay Gandhi National Park. We have one in Mukandra. We have the Van Vihar place. We have the possibility in 2 months to make a big enclosure. But while the summer and monsoon rage, please look after these cheetahs. The country doesn't need any more cheetah deaths at the moment, because earlier on the government was saying cheetahs are used to summer temperatures. Now they're saying the temperature went too high. No more excuses. Let's all sit together around a table and look at the facts of the matter. Look at the merits of this project. If it's ill-advised, withdraw the project.
All right, Valmik, thank you very much for sharing your opinion on this. It is very tragic, very, very sad that we've lost as many cheetahs or cheetah cubs as we have in the last couple of months. Thanks very much for telling us a little bit about your concerns. Thanks very much indeed.